In this video, we'll share with you 10 mistakes couples make and we'll give you tips to avoid them. We are not perfect.
Not at all.
No one is perfect. And the key to a successful marriage is to minimize the mistakes and maximize the good and positive things you can do for your spouse. Hi, I'm Dr. Elias Moitinho.
And I'm Dr. Denise Moitinho. In this channel, we motivate you and give you tips and life skills to help you grow in your life.
And we are the authors of the book, The Dream Home, How to Create an Intimate Christian Marriage.
Yes, and we do have a Spanish version of our book coming up soon, and we'll keep you posted. So if you're new to this channel, subscribe, please.
Yes. Let's get started with the 10 mistakes and tips for you. Mistake number 1, communicating superficially. All couples communicate.
Yes, they do. And sometimes we communicate superficially, but we do want to go deeper in our conversation and be able to ask questions that really invoke or require answers that has to do with our emotions and our preferences and thoughts.
And also avoid becoming defensive, instead being open. So a tip here is create a safe space in your home for you and your spouse to share deeply without the fear of rejection. Mistake number 2, not apologizing and not saying I'm sorry regularly and sincerely. I know it's hard for me to say I'm sorry.
I think men feel that they lose the respect from their wives when they have to apologize, in a sense. But receiving an apology from your spouse, it can really help you process your feelings.
And the thing is, no one is perfect.
No.
So we hurt each other and creates disappointment. And what happens is when we don't apologize, we create resentment.
Yeah, you start feeding into that emotion, and when you apologize, that kind of stops. You starve that emotion a little more, that
So
resentment.
The tip here is, hey, be humble, take pride aside, apologize, and say, I'm sorry. I was wrong.
Well, I said it first.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was wrong. Mistake number 3, holding grudges and not forgiving your spouse. Forgiveness is the catalyst that can restore relationships.
Yeah, holding grudges is not helpful in any relationship.
No, it creates emotional barriers and separations.
Yeah, and you start interacting superficially because remember when we talk about the questions, going deeper with your questions, sharing more. Well, when you're holding grudges, your questions will be, at least your communication will be more on the superficial level. How are you doing? Fine. Goodbye.
Yeah, because you're hurt and you don't want to interact with your spouse. So it's important tip here, to forgive regularly, to forgive from your heart. Watch our video on forgiveness. We'll put the link here for you.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great video to watch.
Mistake number 4, not developing a shared vision. Well, every couple has different visions. I have my dreams, my desires, my aspirations. And
yes, and I have my own, but together we combine our thoughts and dreams, and we also join in prayer to pray for our goals and for our dreams to be one.
So the tip here is sit down with your spouse, share your expectations for the marriage, share your personal dreams, aspirations, goals, what you want to accomplish 5, 10, 20 years from now, and then discuss with one another and develop a shared vision for your marriage.
Yeah, what I've noticed that the more we talk about it, the more it becomes real in our lives as a couple.
Yes. Mistake number 5, allowing conflict to escalate into fights. Well, all couples have disagreements, right? We disagree,
They do, and we do, yes, definitely. But I think when we talk about not allowing conflict to escalate, we mean that you're not going to be feeding into those words and nagging and accusing behavior. And so you have to step away and maybe go outside and count from 1 to 100. I don't know, maybe take a break, take time out.
So that's a tip.
Yes.
That's a tip, to take time out, because conflict that escalates lead to fights, then criticism, then insults, then putting each other down, then you belittle your spouse, and you get nowhere.
And another thing, you start building walls, and those walls, as they get taller, it's harder to remove them. So
Yes.
let's not get there.
That's why we mentioned the tips about forgiving and not holding grudges, and that's important right here too. Mistake number 6, taking each other for granted.
Well, unfortunately, this is a tendency that couples have, as you go through your daily routines for many years, doing work at the house, taking care of the children can become so routine, and sometimes you always have that person there with you no matter what. So you kind of think, I can say anything and this person will take anything I say or do.
And then we don't value the other person. So it's important. A tip here is be sure to praise your spouse daily. I need to praise you daily.
And I need to praise you more.
And something that we've learned is catch your spouse doing something good and you praise your spouse for that. Can be small things around the house, little things. You praise your spouse for those things.
Yeah, and also tell your friends and family members how good your spouse is. Sometimes we don't say anything, but we should do.
Yes. Mistake number 7, getting too busy and not having time for each other. Couples are busy nowadays.
They are. What you have is the wife and the husband working. They get home early in the evening. They have to cook dinner, take care of the kids, help the kids with homework, do the laundry, etc.
And they are busy, and sometimes they have to get the kids from school and take them to extra school activities and after school practices. And you're right, they get home, they are tired.
And they are tired. And what happens is that they do not set time for themselves to watch a movie together or to go out together without the kids. So there's a lot of business, but not much time for fun.
Okay, so a tip here is make time for each other, you and your spouse. Just the two of you, make some time. Maybe you can ask friends to watch your kids while you two have some time for each other and do something fun together. Mistake number 8, creating a child-centered marriage.
Well, children are a blessing. We have two. We love our children.
And children are a blessing from the Lord. I agree with you, and I love our kids.
Yeah, but they cannot be the center of our marriage, because we need to make sure that we are feeding our relationship so that when they are gone, when they leave the nest, we have each other and we know each other.
Yeah, and as we discussed the other mistake, couples get so busy doing things for the family, for the kids, that at times they neglect their marital relationship.
And we shouldn't do that, because our kids are watching us. And when they look at us and see our strong relationship, that really helps them as they are becoming teenagers and young adults.
So a tip here is make your marriage a priority in your life. It goes along with number 7. So you make time for activities, the two of you and your spouse, so you can grow your relationship.
That's right. And at the same time, invest in your children's lives.
Yes, do both. It's balancing.
That's right.
Mistake number 9, living beyond your means. Yes, a lot of couples fall in this trap.
They do. And research shows that the higher the frequency of arguments about money that couples have, the higher the likelihood that they will get divorced. So it's not a good thing.
No, and couples get into that trap of, I want the big TV, I want the big nice cars, I want to live in the big nice neighborhood. And if they can't afford that, what happens? They get into debt.
That also brings a lot of stressors, a lot of stress. And that's when the arguments and the fighting starts.
Yes, and the tip here is have a plan to manage money wisely. Yes, that plan will include creating a budget, right?
Yes, a budget is essential.
Yes.
So you can have control over your money.
Yeah, and then spend money wisely, save money consistently, invest prudently. Those are some things that you can do to avoid the trap of living beyond your means. Mistake number 10, threatening to divorce. That is sad.
That is very sad, and it happens. Many couples experience a lot of conflict in their relationship, in their marriage, and so they feel angry, frustrated, and sometimes they feel that the only way out is divorce.
Yeah, because they may have conflicts that escalate and they have the big fights, so they hurt each other, as we mentioned before. Maybe there's a big thing like an extramarital affair, or maybe pornography, or some of those big hurts. Addiction, substance abuse, you name it. And then they feel like they are at the end of their rope. They don't know what to do. So a tip here is there is hope. We encourage you to find a marriage counselor, a Christian marriage counselor that can help you. And if you're a Christian, we encourage you to go to your pastor, sit down with your pastor, and the pastor can pray with you, can counsel you, and the marriage counselor can help you. Yes.
And encourage you, because it is not an easy situation, but there are other ways out.
Yes, there is hope. Here's a bonus. This mistake is a big one, leaving God out of the marriage.
And many couples do that because they are so busy, they think they don't want to add going to church as another activity. But it's more than an activity. It really feeds your emotions, your mind, your body, your soul.
And this is more than going to church. This is about developing a personal relationship with God and growing spiritually. That will strengthen your marriage. So a tip here is both you and your spouse, you need to seek God together as a couple, right?
Yes, because God created marriage and He can help you have a wonderful marriage.
Yes, and couples can experience that by going to church to worship God together, and then getting into a Bible study and praying together, and you're gonna see that your life will be changed, and then your marriage will be changed. Okay, if you liked this video, we encourage you to share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video. And avoid these mistakes.